Good afternoon, good evening to everyone. Welcome. Come on into the Victory Moment with CK. I thank you so much for joining me. I thank you for connecting with me. Listen, those of you that are already connected to me on Facebook, I appreciate you, but I need you to connect with me on my YouTube page. It's just waiting on you. But let me get started and say hello. I am CK. If you just your first time ever connecting or seeing my YouTube, this I am CK. I am a travel specialist, CEO and owner of KM Travels. I am an author and motivational inspirational speaker, and I may have a special guest today because we're going to be talking about as you realize, I'm wearing pink today, and I'm going to be wearing pink most of the month because of cancer. We say breast cancer awareness, but we are definitely being aware of all the cancers that definitely can attack the body. But yeah. So I may have a special guest coming on, and we're going to talk more about it, but I'm going to do what I normally do, and that's to speak to you a few moments. And, again, I appreciate those that are coming on my live and those that are going to catch me on the replay. I am just grateful and thankful for anyone that connects with me or desires to connect with me, because I know that there's a reason why you're connecting to me. So listen, let's talk about this as we move it along. The future depends on what you do today. And I want to talk about this because we make a lot of choices. We make decisions, and a lot of times we make decisions and choices face value. And we don't realize the choices and decisions that we're making, the effect that it's having long term. The blessings that God wants to give us, and I'm gonna have to bring God in it. The blessings that God wants to give us, and he brings to us, but we have to acknowledge. That's why he said, if you acknowledge me in all thy ways, I will direct your path. And that's why it's so important to understand that the choices, or what we do to the future, depends on what you do today. Every day you have an opportunity to make a choice, and to make a choice according to the will of God. But what we tend to do is we want God to bless what we want. And this is where a lot of confusion comes. This is where a lot of it, I don't know what, I'm just going there today. But let's talk about number one, and I've been talking about it, the choices we make. And the choices we make makes a big difference in the future. See, one bad choice can mess your whole next up, because we make choices suddenly. We make choices again. We make choices again because of how we feel or what things look like at the moment. But remember, there's so much deception out there that makes things look good, make things look proper. But in the long run, if you don't use your discernment, we call it discernment. Women, men call it women intuition, or whatever the case may be. Then you're going to realize it when it's too late, when it's already done the damage. So the choices that you make, I'm just saying, be aware of the choices that you're making. And I want to add this to people that you're connecting to. I make choices, and I'm going to use me as an example, be transparent for a moment. I made some choices, and the choices that I made is still affecting my today. And it's a natural thing to make a choice and trust the choice that you're making. But one of the main things you have to do is understand that the choices that you're making can be detrimental and dangerous to your life. And I'm saying this because I know so many times we look at the outer appearance of things and it looks so great and it looks so wonderful and it looks so appealing. But then when you really get into the actual heart of what it is, I like how God said it. Man looks at the outer appearance, looks at what things look like. But God says he looks at the intent of the heart. And one of the things we really get caught up in is looking at the outer appearance. Number two, we are talking about the future. And it depends on what you do today. And how we are preparing makes a difference. How we are making choices make a difference. How we are allowing and putting everything before God and actually accepting what God says. Because we only see today, but God sees tomorrow. God sees 10 years from now. And I'm putting God in this because I realize, trust me, when I'm talking to you, I'm talking to me because I know the choices that I have made that created issues for me at one point, So the bottom line is, hi, Sonia. Thank you so much for joining me, my sis. And we have to connect with the truth of a matter. You waste your time, the blessings, and all that God wants to give you when you do not think about your choices. Think about what you're doing today. And one of the main things I am really learning, how they say, and this is one of the things that my church has a banner. It's a banner. And Sonia is here. That's one of the women of God that's a part of my church, Tabernacle of Praise. And we had this banner that says, growth demands change. And part of preparing is allowing the change and whatever is transpiring in your life, allowing God to bring you into the new levels that he has for you, allowing God to make to draw you into the new that he has for you. But what we tend to do is we don't want to let go of the old. We keep repeating ourselves because we are thinking that as we do certain things, it's going to change. When the change really begins with who? With us. So I'm just here real quickly to encourage you that if you want the blessed life, the blessed life, the great things that God has for you, it depends on what you are doing today. Are you following what he says to you today? Are you really following what he says to you today? Are you really trusting him with the choices that you have to make? See, God says, if you acknowledge me in all my ways, I will direct your pathway. But that doesn't mean a prayer here and a prayer there. It means a true heart surrendered to God. It means, choosing, making the right choices according to what the principles and guidelines and what we will say. It's not about what I can't do and cannot do, but it's about a heart connected to God, and that the one that sticketh closer than a brother, the one that you can rely on and depend on, that will never leave you nor forsake you. So how are you preparing for tomorrow? How are you allowing your growth to demand change? How are you allowing the change and not keep saying, I want to go back to what it used to be? It's never going to go back to the way it used to be. There's a change, there's a shift. And we had to realize that the growth or the shift demands change, adjustment. So we know we may not like everything that's happening and things that are going on, but we have to understand that there's a growth in it, there's a change in it, there's an acceptance of certain things in it. What are you looking for in your life right now when it comes to your future? And as I'm going into my last one and thanking everybody, and I'm trying to give my special guest a moment, but I guess she's still stuck, so we may not be able to do it, but we may just do a special one tomorrow. I'm gonna see if she'll come on as I'm doing the last one. Allowing the past to continue. Listen, your future depends on you letting go of the past and not keep repeating it. What we tend to do is say, oh, we forgot about the past, but yet we keep repeating it because of the choices that we're making. We keep repeating it because of the perspective that we're looking at it at. We're not allowing the growth to change us, but we're saying, quote unquote, that we're growing. We're saying, quote unquote, that we're different, but yet we keep going right back to the old. We keep going right back to the old things we used to do, the places we used to go, similar people we used to connect with, because it's the comfort zone. So as I give like a few more minutes, I just want to recap. We are talking about the future that depends on what you do today. That means the choices that we're making. That means preparing for tomorrow, knowing that when you were a child, you spoke and you did things like a child. But as you get maturer, older, you're supposed to mature and put away childish things. And that means doing things differently. That means doing things in integrity. That means being honest with yourself and the people around you. What are you expecting? If you all keep doing the same thing, are you really expecting a different result? Who is in your ears? What are you gravitating to? And the final thing I want to talk about again is us allowing the past to continue to disrupt the future. We got to stop letting the fear and discomfort of the past hinder the future. It's easy to fall into something that's familiar. It's so easy to fall into something that's familiar. But what we need to do is see the future and know that there's something better in all of what I want to say to you. I want to say to you, see your blessed life, see your best, your future, and it looks a whole lot better than what you are seeing. But be careful of the choices you're making. And as I close out, I guess she's stuck in her meeting. And as I close out, just remember, you will never please everybody in the midst of it all. But if you live your life in the request of everybody and what everybody wants you to do, that's going to be an issue. And you're going to find yourself unhappy. My guess is here. You're going to find yourself unhappy. And as you do that, you're gonna find yourself unhappy in the midst of it all. So the future depends on what you do today. And she stepped in right on time, as always. Hi, my sis.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine. How's it going?
Welcome, guys. This is a special moment that we're doing, as this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. But we know we are aware of all different means of or situations of cancer. And listen, we are here, and I'm going to close out, but I stopped because I had to make sure I do this. I am a speaker in what we will call, and this is every year, it's called the Survive and Thrive. And, awareness and all of that good stuff. It's a great cause. There's a purpose behind it. And it's for the future, like what I'm talking about. Because people, we need each other. Someone needs us to know that they can survive in the midst of it all. So we're going to have some amazing guests, speakers and all of that. But I'm going to let Shannon talk more about it. She is the leader and host of this event. And I need all my people, hear what I'm saying. I'm saying it publicly, to support whatever you can, because it's not about us, but it's about supporting this major cause for the future. Because someone needs to know that someone cares about them and the struggle is real. And Shannon is going to share some things and all of that. And Shannon even share a quick testimony of her and her surviving her time with cancer recovery. So thank you for those that are going to catch this on the replay. But I'm going to let Shannon talk about it right now. Shannon, introduce yourself and then share with us about this, about our Survive and Thrive conference coming up in another week. a week and a half or something like that. So welcome again. I think you're muted. Did you mute yourself?
Yes. I
So
did.
welcome again, and thank you so much for quickly joining me. Sis, go ahead and share.
So, hello, of course. Thank you, Elder Carmen, for inviting me and having me on. So, I definitely appreciate being here. And as Elder Carmen said, we are going to be celebrating the 5 years of Survive and Thrive Cancer Recovery. This conference was started back in 2017, and it was just right after I had gone through treatment. So back in 2015, I was diagnosed with triple negative breast cancer, and it was definitely a shock of finding it because I had discovered it, with the grace of God, of course, myself, and it was just on a fluke because, I mean, mind you, I had, I've done mammograms, and at some point when you've turned 50, or 40 rather, you get mammograms. So I had done that and was doing that, each year. And as time went on, it was like in 2015. So there's some other little tidbits of information within that dealing with insurances and making sure that you have those, even though you don't think that you are going to need them. But my story in a short version was that prior to that, I had where I used to work, there was an executive director. She was diagnosed with stomach cancer, and she's since passed. But when that happened, it was very shocking, and it just hit really hard to see that process and seeing her go from where she was to now she's no longer here. And it was such an impact that, you do take, recollection of things. You think about stuff. You start taking account of where you are. What could have happened to you? Could this have been you? And what would your family be dealing with, or what you would be dealing with if that was you and something happened to that degree? She had one son, and it was her only son, and it was her husband, and then here she is, they lost her. So looking at that impact, you start thinking about, well, shoot, I should go get some insurance too, because I don't want my family to have to deal with anything. And looking at the things that if you were removed from the home, or you was removed, what impact would that be on you, your family, your community, your job, anything? What impact would that be? And regardless to the fact of knowing that, yes, there's a possibility that you may not be there, but how will you leave your family? So I, went and got some insurance, and this insurance isn't cheap, and it covers things such as that. So I got the insurance, and I had paid it for a couple of years, but it's expensive. And at some point I was like, you know what, this is expensive. I don't think I need this insurance because I don't have cancer, and my mama don't have it, and my daddy don't have it. So why am I paying this $600, every pay period to have it? And I was like, no, this isn't too much. So I declined it. I stopped it. That was in 2014. And then, of course, now remember, I told you I discovered this cancer in 2015. So when 2015 came and I had stopped the insurance, I was like, it's open enrollment. Should I do this, this insurance again? And I was thinking about it from a financial point. I was like, no, I don't think I want to, because, I like to eat and, buy stuff too. So as time went on, I had one of my coordinators, and I said to her, I said, I don't know, should I get this insurance? But, I'm making my own decision. But I was just like, I don't know. And she said, get it, just get it. And I said, okay, then I'm coming to your house to eat because I'm hungry, and because this is expensive. So in open enrollment of that January, I signed back up for it. And I was like, well, I'll just have to deal with it and just keep moving. But what had happened was, as you know, again, I said in 2015. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September came on around. And in November 2015, I found cancer. Now, that was like a fluke to be one. And to know that prior to that, I had canceled that insurance. In 2015, cancer was knocking at the door. And there it was. And it was in full effect. So when I found the cancer, It was definitely devastating, but it was to the point, okay, this isn't going to be the end. What are we going to do to make sure we can be good on the other side? So as time went on, here we are, done, was diagnosed, got the treatment plan, did the, lumpectomy where they remove, the cancer, did the chemo, did the radiation, lost hair, came here live every day talking to you guys about what this process looked like, what it was entailed. Because God told me I had to share the story. Because see, I could mind my own business and do my own stuff, not in front of everybody, because that's just not what I do. But God had told me that I needed to share, and wouldn't nobody really know that I had cancer unless you saw that my hair was gone one day, all of a sudden. And I didn't look like I had cancer per se. It didn't look like
I don't mean, not meaning to cut you, but
that.
Shannon,
Go ahead.
one of the things that really impact me with you is your constant positivity. Even when I look back at the videos that you had and all that you were going through, you showed your trust in God. You showed your strength in God, whether you didn't do it behind the scene, but your video showed you striving, as you said, thriving and surviving, and striving and thriving in all of it. And every time when I look back at the videos, because you share some of them, a lot of them I didn't see at that point. But this is a time and season when we have to understand there's a thriving involved right now and a surviving. But I'm gonna let you finish, and then we're gonna talk about that other part, as you were sharing, because I know, this part is really, really important right now that you're sharing. So go ahead.
Right. So as the whole process and looking at that, and when I came on, I came on in the beginning when I first discovered that I was diagnosed with cancer. Then at some point as treatment went through, I was able to share with you guys to let you see that, yeah, in the beginning, this is what happens. This is what the process is like. This is what the side effects were like, and showing just that whole ordeal of losing hair, losing, nails, and losing things, and stuff debilitating. It was definitely a challenge, but it was something that was still done. And I would come on every day. I would still talk with folks and still working and helping people how to get through, and through my own testimony of faith and walking through faith. And every day I would say, hey, here's another day of chemo. Here's another week. I'm at week this. 16 weeks I had to do. And it was every week. At one point, it was in the beginning, you start this really harsh chemo that they call AC. And that's that thing, whenever you hear red devil, they're referring to a particular type of chemo. It's red. It's actually red. And it's that really harsh, debilitating chemo treatment that you get. And they call it red devil. And it is very, very taxing on the body. And it knocks out a lot of things. And because of that, you go through it, and it's every other week. But then at some point later on, you start chemotherapy where it's every week. And I would go every Monday. Every Monday I would go to chemo, and my white blood count would get knocked out. So my immune system was definitely compromised and gone. You had no immune system because it knocked out everything, because it's killing things. It's killing cells. And I was on just the other day talking about that and how your cell structures change, because that's what it's doing. So being able to come and talk and share, but at the same time, definitely keeping positive, because it works for me. It helps me, but it also helps others. And it not only cancer survivors, because everybody need a good little uplift, every now and then. So, but when you've gone through something, you see things from a different perspective, and things that you may have worried about are not as important as you thought they were, especially when you're looking at a life and death situation. And you're looking at something where you need to minimize unnecessary movements and thoughts, because when you're going through chemo, you don't remember a lot anyway. That chemo brain is real serious, and it is true, and it is
Wow.
real. You don't remember stuff. I remember one of the things, and but I remember now. But I remember I was trying to set up a password, and it was for the EDD thing. And if any of you have done EDD, because I had never done it till then, they send you a slip in the mail to say you changed your password. Well, one particular time I got three of them, because in the same day I forgot the password, and thought, oh no, I remember that. That's no problem. But I forgot it. So I had got like three of them one day, because I had to change my password three different times, because chemo it is taxing on the brain. It's taxing on everything. It's tearing down and attacking things. So your brain is not really is working as well as it is. The synapses are not snapping like they should be. So because it is killing things, it's killing things that look like cancer. So here we are now, 2021, and we are celebrating 5 years. 5 years is the amount of time that they give you to monitor you. So within this 5 years, you are monitored every 6 months or more, because that's where they're checking to see if you're still cancer free, if the cancer has come back. So it's a 5 year mark. So we're celebrating 5 years, and we've met that milestone, not only bringing Survive and Thrive every year, but also looking at being in remission and being cancer free. So that is definitely a celebratory type of thing, and we're happy about it, and we're doing it again. So that's all I got.
Introduce yourself. Tell them who you are
Oh
and your
yeah. So
amazingness.
again, I'm Shannon. I'm Shannon. To the degree of what I do, is just many things, but I am the co-founder of course, For Humanities, which is a t-shirt brand, and we work with folks and help you with taking your passion and turning it into a marketable fashion, and that's what we do. And we really have a strong nonprofit base. It's not a nonprofit, but I am a nonprofit expert, and that's what I like to do. So it's more social, and it's about working with nonprofits and helping them with fundraising and bringing their message to the forefront. Also with Survive and Thrive, and founder of that, and it's like that's just a wonderful thing to be able to help cancer survivors during their time of recovery, and helping them during that time where they've discovered that they found cancer or they have it, and what do they do now? What does the family members do? How do you bring that to your family? So those are things that we look to do, and working with families and children, because there's childhood cancer too, and how do we work with families to help them offset the cost of their copays? So I do that. And, in my profession, I am a social worker. I work in nonprofit and manage nonprofit programs. So I've been doing that for over 2 decades. And, it's great. I like it.
And let me tell you, she don't have to toot her own horn. I'm going to toot it for her. When I say that all that she does is always to help and better someone else. I've been connected with her, as she shared. I've been a part of the committee and everything when it came, connecting to her when it came to Survive and Thrive. But I'll share a quick story, and then I'm going to let everybody go. We're going to put the link because we want you to support. It's a 501c3. I hope I'm saying it correctly, because I keep always messing that up. And any donation that you give will go towards, again, a cancer survivor, a person that's in remission, a person that's actually dealing with it now, however, the need, wherever the need is. So we have a gold, and we really are looking for everyone's support. This is the month, this is the time and season. Let's be a support. to, this vision, this what's happening. And again, I just was talking about it. The future depends on what you do today. So how can you help someone else? How can you be a support to someone else? Cancer is real. So as I said, I'm going to give a quick testimony. And I don't know how many know, because I've never really shared it. I think I shared it when we did when I connected with Shannon. That was the first time I actually shared it, about my dad having cancer and almost not being here. I'll say it like that. And me not understanding what was really happening, but I was able to connect with Shannon and understand what was actually happening. And again, I'm not going to keep us much longer, but listen, again, the future depends on what you do today. How can you help someone? And I talked about that last week, about being a support or helping someone. It's not personal. Now this is a what we will call a vision and a movement to help people that may be struggling, to help someone that may be having a difficult time, because you understand yourself what you had to deal with. So we're going to put the link in there and all of that, and just be a support the way you can. Join us. If you get a ticket today, you actually have a ticket for you and somebody else. If you know someone that's going through cancer, any type of cancer, invite them, because they're free. They're free. Because we want to give the information that people would need. We want to help someone along the journey. And if anybody know me, I don't connect to everything. And I'm telling you, I know when I say what I'm saying, that this is a great, great vision of what's going on. So we're going to put the information there. I'm looking forward to being a speaker. And, just sharing. We have vendors, we have speakers that are going to be there to share. The vendors are going to share, what they have, but the speakers are going to give you information. We have, Shannon, you can share a few of who's going to, that what's going to be available there at this time. And then we're going to close out, and thanking you for staying and sticking with me, because this is the longest I've ever been for a while. But it's meant, and I'm glad to do this. So Shannon, you can share briefly about a few of what is going to be going on in those 2 days, and you can share the
Yes.
dates. Mm-hmm.
So it's October 16th and 17th. Now, on the 16th, which is really great for entrepreneurs. So if you are an entrepreneur, business owner, and you're looking to network, we're doing that on the first day. The first day is a networking opportunity, Network Mixer 2.0. So it's going to be an opportunity to talk about your business, listen to other entrepreneurs to see how they've done what they've done and how they can connect with you. So it's being able to have access to a whole group of people to be able to share. So that's the first day. The second day is more of the conference and the fundraising and hearing the stories of the survivors, listening to the speakers that we are going to have and we have there that's going to talk to you about what and how they've gotten where they are. Some of the speakers are survivors. So you'll be able to hear their story and look at where they are now and how they're triumphing over, their cancer journey and what they've done. We have vendors, virtual vendors that will be there. They will be there, but we have 3 Q's Apparel, which is an apparel company. We have 4 Humanities as well. We have, of course, Elder Carmen King, Carmen, and what she's going to be doing as an author. We have Juice Plus, which is going to be an opportunity to be able to see all about Juice Plus and what benefits they have. Yes. And so you'll be able to purchase, Elder Carmen's book. You'll be able to hear a little more about the book and her role in the book and what she's done and what that benefit is. So you will also be able to, purchase, t-shirts in support of cancer awareness and just positivity. So those are things that we're going to be doing, and we'll appreciate, the sponsors, that have sponsored. We have, Mainline Studios and StreamYard, of course. We have,
What we're
of course,
using.
yes, we have like lots of folks, and Forbes Business Solutions. We have Bay Area Cleaning Professionals. We have just a lot of different sponsors. We have Ms. Naturally Patricia. We have, a bunch of folks. So we definitely appreciate all of our
And Sharon
sponsors.
is here. And
Yes,
Sharon is here.
yes. Dragon Media Productions, Mainline Studios. And we appreciate definitely Dragon Media Productions, because that website, she just like knocked it out. So if you need some website support, she can do that. And, we thank the House of Anthony Michelle and Miss Minnie Me's Boutique and Dr. Landry and just different folks. And then Allison Best with ACN. So we've had a lot of different folks who have come on in, and we have definitely self-inspired apparel and just some other vendors that are going to be there too. So we'll appreciate it and appreciate this opportunity to come share with you guys.
Awesome. And I thank everybody again for taking this time, because, everybody that normally knows me, I normally don't be on this long. But listen, I hope this information is good, was helpful to you. And you will join us on the 16th and 17th as we just bring again. And this is what I always talk about: the positivity and the victory moment. And again, as I close out, the future again depends on what you do today. It depends on the choices you're making. It depends on how you're preparing and the growth demanding the change. It depends on how you are allowing and not allowing the past to continue to disrupt your future. I am CK, and I thank you so much for joining me for this special victory moment, because it was a special victory moment, a special guest that came on. And I'm just excited about what's going to transpire, because I know I gained so much when I was on one, and everything is virtual because of the time and season. So I have to remember to put that in there. Everything is virtual because of the time and season. So we look forward to it. Connect with Shannon, connect with Sharon. She's right there on the live. I mean on in the chat. Connect with these ladies. We just do what we have to do, and trying to bring the best to you. So I thank you again. I am an author, speaker, CEO and owner of KM Travels, and I just love connecting to you. And again, connect to my special guests, and all the information. Again, we're gonna make sure we put it on the feed, in the chat, so that you can get you can get the information. And if you have any questions, you could inbox me and I'll give you more. But if you know someone again that just went through cancer, going through the circumstance right now, please let them know we welcome them. They don't have to pay anything. And everything now we're saying donation. And we look forward and thanking you for your donation and your support. So blessings and love to everybody as Shannon and I wave bye. We thank you again. Have a great evening. And we look forward to seeing you. And I'll talk to y'all on Monday. And we look forward to seeing you at Survive and Thrive 2021. Take care, everybody.